All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Wagwan Wanga. I thought the people that were saying name. That's what the people that were saying name. So I'm here with my live studio audience.
Hey, hi. Wait, here.
The team has convinced me to do a solo episode. I'm very nervous because, yapping by yourself is kind of not that fun, but I was born to do it, so period. So I basically asked everybody on my Instagram to ask me some questions, and I guess we're gonna just go through the questions. But before we do that, one of the things that made me afraid to do this is because, when, people are just like, I don't know, just like talking about yourself feels very strange. And I feel like as in a solo episode, like a lot of it is gonna be like talking about myself, even if it's just like my thoughts and stuff. And one of the things that is weird is that like sharing your story, because I feel like I've been doing this since 2019, so it's been like a while now, and I feel like everybody knows who Wonga Gal is and why Wonga Gal is and where and how Wonga Gal is. But then I went to Canva Create the other day, and John M. Chu say that no matter unless you know how much people in the world.
8 billion.
8 billion. Unless you know 8 billion people, there's always somebody who doesn't know your story. And there's always someone who will be hearing your story for the first time. And even if they haven't heard your story for the first time, when you watch a movie 2 times and the second time you watch a movie, you get something completely different from it. Yeah. So, yeah. That's why we're here today. All right. Let's scramble up the magic bowl. Shh. Stir the pot. And these are questions from the people. Questions from the people. All right, so the first one say, any plans to open a restaurant?
Tell them about the supermarket.
I'm not telling nobody about supermarket because I don't want nobody to thief my idea. But any plans to open a restaurant? I don't. Like, I have a very big goal to own a restaurant or to be a part of a restaurant in some way. I don't know that I would necessarily, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, would I go sell some noodle? Maybe a food truck. I think a food truck, because I have heard just how expensive it is to own a restaurant. I mean, brick and mortar, especially in Jamaica, is just, the overheads are crazy. As we said in another episode, labor is very expensive here in Jamaica. And just, I don't know, Jamaicans fickle. I don't fickle bad. All I want is patty and rice and peas and fried chicken and curry gravy. And I love all of those things. But if I were to open a restaurant, I don't know that I would want to sell those things. So
Ever give with the Wonga butter?
Wonga butter could be a thing. I have every now and again I have ideas, I have ideas to do things. Maybe not a restaurant, but maybe like a product. But it would just be like, me no want no pepper sauce. No want no jerk sauce. No hate to the people who are doing pepper sauce and jerk sauce. You are serving a great market. But yeah, I think I would want to do something different, and I would want to do something that feels like me. The butter I've thought about. As me said, the noodles me think about. I had this idea for like a cheeseburger thing. I'm not giving you the details though, but I did have an idea one time. And yeah, when I was younger, I had this idea to do. I mean, I think this has been done now because chef, I don't know what's his name. Is his name Kwame? I'm not sure. But the restaurant Tiana in New York, I think, which is now like, I think, a Michelin star restaurant. But back in the day, I had this idea that I wanted to before Wonga Gal, before I even had this interest in food, I wanted to do a fine dining Jamaican restaurant in the States. Because I always thought I always used to see Jamaican food always just felt like cook shop food. And the way how it was presented in the States always felt a little too casual, a little too informal to me. And I always wondered why our food couldn't feel high end, why it couldn't look and feel luxurious. And so back in the day, I did have the idea that I wanted to do that. Um, but here we are. You're not at me yet. You're not at me yet. But who knows? Any investors? Anybody want to bet Tiana? Call me. I'm here. Yeah. So yeah, any plans to open a restaurant? Pending. That's the answer. Pending. Pending. Okay. Next question. There are not that many questions in here. But next question. Tips for staying on top of your game. Well, first of all, thank you for thinking that I'm on top of my game. Because sometimes the game feel over. Like boy, it on top of me. And like when you're playing Super Mario and like you jump on the cloud and you think say you make it, but then you never make it and then where you go? That's how I feel a lot. But truthfully, I do think I do think I have a really good work ethic. Big up Elizabeth all day, every day. Big up my shiny jeans. That's stereotypical, but so it go. And I think I have a problem being bored, which is bad. But I feel like I always have to be doing something, which I do not recommend that. I do not. Because it definitely has gone to my detriment on like I'll be so overwhelmed and I get a one day to do nothing and end up doing something. But I think I'm very, what keeps me going? Fact that I like nice things. I like to buy nice things. I like to eat nice things. I like to feel comfortable. And I wouldn't say I'm afraid, but I'm very aware of my unhappiness should I no longer be able to access those things. And I would say that is what keeps me going, is because I know that if I stop, then I can't do that. And I like to somebody commented on my video the other day when I went to Canva Create and they were like, hey, you use your visa, and I said correct, because what is the visa for if not to be used? So yeah, I like doing those things, and I think that's coupled with just always being busy, coupled with I just feel like I have a lot of ideas that I want to get out into the world. And that's what it rocks my brain a lot, that they're just all of these things that I feel like I want to do. And so the minute that I get the opportunity to do them, I kind of just do them. And there are a lot of things that I don't get to do. And even that thought is crippling sometimes. But yeah, I'd say the biggest motivating factor is just wanting to live comfortable and wanting to be independent, because I'm not one of those people who I have no man mind me, I have no mother nor no father mind me, and I have two cat where me mine. So, do it for Comet and Blitz. Any other tips? Any other tips, guys? Do I do anything else?
You're on your planner.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Practical tips now. I believe in a planner. I've always had a planner since like high school, maybe even prep school. But I am a strong believer. Watch Comet. In at the door. I'm a big believer in writing down every single thing that I have to do. And it really keeps me, I think, organized. I wouldn't describe myself as type A. I think I'm type AB. But I do think that the way that I organize myself airs toward type A a little bit. I'm not perfect. Things slip through the cracks. And I think that's also something to keep me on top of my game is that I give myself grace a lot. I'm very aware that I'm not perfect, and I'm very aware that other people aren't perfect. And yeah, you have to just keep going. You have to just keep going. Also at Canva Create, they were saying, they quoted Oprah, I think, who said it's not about winning and losing. There's no such thing as a loss. It's a win or a lesson. You win or you learn. And so, yeah, I definitely operate like that. And yeah, just try to always keep moving forward. That don't mean say I don't crash out on the daily. I have a little scream thing that I do where my team knows it. Like I'll literally be like, it's like a silent scream. And it just make you feel a little bit better for like 2 seconds. And then you just continue. You just go about your day. So yeah, I think, yeah, and having a team, having a support system, that helps. Certainly keeps you on top of things.
How do you create systems? So the planner sound like a part of the system, but how you create the systems to know, all right, this is my content creation time versus this is like client content creation time. And then you have all the admin stuff you have to do.
Boy, that's hard. I'm not gonna lie, that is an active problem in my life that I am working to overcome. I must say, my first employer post college was Nicole McLaren Campbell. And if you know anything about that lady, she's all about systems and she's all about making sure that things work for you, not you work for them. And so I think I got a good foundation from her where that was concerned. I think watching her work made me want to be a little more organized and try to develop some systems. But as I said, I think as a entrepreneur it is hard because sometimes you don't have time to figure out the systems. Like you're just clients are coming and there's work to do and you just have things to do. But I think in my brain, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but everything is just work to me. Like I don't compartmentalize. Like I don't view it as admin, WongaMedia, Wonga Gal. Like to me, all hours is just working hours. And so, but I think I try my best to figure out what the priority is, and I work based on priority. So, priority can be timeline. Priority can be, okay, this client paying me a little bit more, so I have to kind of prioritize them first. Priority can also just be like what is making me feel more fulfilled in the moment. So, for example, if there is something for Wanga Gal that is not due right now, and I'm kind of dreading doing it, but then there's something for a client on the Wanga Media side that feels a little more fun or that I want to do a little bit more, then I will do that first to then kind of energize me to get the energy and I guess the gusto to then go and do the thing that I didn't really want to do. Also, a little lie down never hurt nobody yet. I believe in lie down. Like I also used to believe in power napping, a 20-minute nap. I don't really do that anymore because I don't really have time to do that anymore. But back in the day I was a power napper and I do believe in it still. So yeah, rest is very, very important. Super, super important. And yeah, I don't know if that even answers the question, but yeah, I think somewhere in that there's an answer. On to the next question. What are the people saying? Do I have a background in food? No. Do I have a background in eating? Yes. Because food for now. I've been eating since I was a babe, But no, I do not have a background in food, meaning like I was not formally trained in food. I have thought about going to culinary school before, like more for shits and giggles. And just for learning. I love learning. One of the things I wish I had the money to do was to go back to school. Honest to God, I know some people are dreading. I know some people can't wait for done school, and I know some people never want to return to school. I joke and tell my boyfriend all the time that he needs to become rich so that I can be a permanent student. I would love to have like 6 degrees, 3 master degrees, and a doctorate. Like I am Dr. Tiana Chung lying down on the couch. That is what I want to do. um, but no, I don't have a background in food, but my family is very food centric. My father's side of the family, I grew up around a lot of people who cooked and baked, and I had an uncle who worked for Purity. I had an uncle who used to do the catering down at Sabina Park. So I grew up in a very foodie environment. I also have a cousin who went to Johnson and Wales and is a chef now. I think he's, big up Jordan. I don't know what you're doing right now, but big up you. And and yeah, so I was just always around food. My family loves to eat. We're Asian, but we're very Chinese Jamaican. Like my family loves food in a crazy way. And so yeah, it's in a way it's not surprising to me that I ended up in or like adjacent to the food space. What's funny is that I remember when I was younger and there was this specific day that I was at dancing, and I literally one of the things that we used to do was we used to go to KFC after. So we used to have like dance class and then a break and then go into rehearsal. And obviously we'd get food like in the break because I would literally back in those days I was dancing like 5-6 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even more than that. So, food was very important. And KFC was in the plaza and KFC was always in the plaza. So we'd go over to KFC. And one day I came back with the KFC and I think I was talking about KFC. I don't really know why I decided to talk about KFC. I don't know why I got so spirited, but I was talking and describing the KFC, and I remember my dance teacher said, I feel like you're gonna do something in food because you're just so passionate. Like the way you talk about food, just mind you, she's also like vegan. And she's like, the way that you're talking about it make me want to eat the KFC, and I have no desire to eat the KFC, So I don't know if that was like a subtle foreshadowing situation, but here we are. But yeah, long story short, no, I don't have a background in food, but maybe one day. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Well, you have the background now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I guess this is the background. What's so funny is that, was it earlier this year or last year? I was headhunted to be like a restaurant manager in Barbados. And I was like, girl, I don't know nothing about this.
We never got restaurant management. We got restaurant eating.
Yeah, exactly. But it made me, and it's so funny because obviously I saw it, and we can go into a whole other conversation about like gender roles because of course, people always say that, I think there's a statistic that says when a woman applies to a job, she's either overqualified or at least 90% qualified, whereas a man will be 60% qualified for a job and still apply. And so it's so funny because when that happened, I think I would have made a post on my Instagram stories about it. And I was like, that's so crazy. Like, that could never be me. Like, what the hell? And so many people responded and they're like, girl, it could be you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, go collect that money. And even now I still feel a little, I don't know, imposter syndrome, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, maybe one day, who knows, explore my horizons. I'm not opposed to taking on new challenges at all, so i'm here and also if any culinary school want give me scholarship, I'm also here too. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, oh my God, no. Let me like advertise your culinary program. Yeah. I would do that. I would so do that. For sure, for sure. Yeah. All right, next one. Would you ever teach people how to cook or bake? I guess this kind of like the imposter syndrome follows into this question. Okay,
Don't you have a class?
I did have a class.
She literally had a class at Jamaica Food and Drink like a couple weeks ago. And what
Right.
did you teach them? Gnocchi.
Right.
Which is not easy.
I did have a class and it was very chaotic, but in like a good way. But you see, for me, I think because I'm so passionate about food, I have a very, very, very high respect for chefs. Like, I really think chefs are like artists, and I think chefs should be paid so much money because I think not only do they do all of these creative things with food, and not only do they make food taste good and make food look good, but they're literally nourishing us with their craft. And so yeah, I have a very, very big respect for people who understand food and who can, like, food is really their craft. And so I think that is what holds me back mentally. I think somebody, excuse me, somebody used to ask, like Rushcam used to ask me all the time, when am I gonna put on my cookbook? And I don't know. I don't know if I feel ready to do a cookbook. I don't know. And it's not even about being nervous or being whatever. I just feel like I just feel like I respect chefs so much. Like, I respect people who went to school for this so much. I respect people who have been cooking for years upon years so much. And I don't feel like I'm there yet. I don't feel like I can honor the craft in a way that is responsible and, just right. Not yet, at least. As I said, like, I'm not formally trained. I also literally, I'm just cooking for funsies. Half the time I'm following a recipe. I'm not at the stage where I know how to cut fat with an ingredient or how to fix the sweetness and saltiness. And I'm not saying that I'll never learn how to do those things. But for now, cooking just feels like fun for me. And I don't ever want to diminish the work of people who cooking is not fun for them. Cooking is like their life. By, I don't know. I don't know what the word is. It's almost like a disrespect to the craft in a way. And you might disagree with me, but that's kind of just how I feel about it. And maybe one day that feeling will change. Like, who knows? Maybe one day I will pop up with a cookbook. Maybe one day I will pop up with a teaching, like a class. Maybe one day I'll start my own catering company. Who knows? But right now, I just don't feel like I'm ready for that, and I don't feel like I don't feel like I have the right skill set yet. Yeah, that's where it is. But you never know. But also, I've also thought about it too, and I don't even know. Sometimes I wonder if, like, that's even the direction that I want to go in, because there is certainly a space for people who don't cook, but people who tell the stories of people who cook. And, people who make cooking feel more accessible, but not necessarily cook themselves, if that makes sense. I feel like I feel comfortable in that space where it's just like, for science. Like, I feel like I'm very much like, this is for science. This is all just an experiment. We're all in a Wonga simulation and we're all just doing things to see if it makes sense. That's where I am. But yeah, I don't know.
That sounds like a good opening paragraph for a cookbook.
I already have the idea for the cookbook. So you know what
What is the idea? Oh my God, what's the idea for the
the
cookbook?
idea for the cookbook is favorite junk.
Editor Ramon, just cut all of this.
Just go. Somebody actually asked me the other day, because I'm currently very big on what do you call it? Making memories tangible right now. I'm in my analog era. And so, like, I've been printing albums, And the other day I did print an album of like my food photography. And a couple people were asking me like where can they buy one. So I think I would sooner put out a coffee table book of food photography than I would do a cookbook, but who knows? Who knows?
For the ingredients. Right.
Okay. Somebody says, what's my dream collab? My dream, I have 2 dream collabs. KitchenAid and Le Creuset. Call me. I don't have anything else to say. Yeah.
That's very self-explanatory.
I think you and Gordon Ramsay would make some cool videos.
That's actually true. Okay. I think I would love my dream collab, because I guess that would be like brand collab.
Yeah.
So like brand collab, KitchenAid, Le Creuset, hit me up. Le Creuset put out a Wonga Green line, hit me up. I also would like the green and wood KitchenAid mixer. Okay. In people, I would love to meet Gordon Ramsay. I feel like Gordon Ramsay would make me cry though, but I would still love to meet him. I'm actually in the middle of watching his documentary on Netflix, and he's pretty cool. So I would love to meet him. I would love to meet Matty Matheson, who is one of the producers of The Bear. He also owns, like, he's a proper chef. What's so funny is if you ever watch The Bear, he's like one of the only characters who is not a chef, but in real life, he is a chef. So it's really, really funny. But no, he is so funny. I actually just finished watching his little cooking series that's now on Netflix called Just a Dash. And I think if I were to do a cooking show, which I would sooner do than a cookbook, I would want to take inspiration from Just a Dash because it was hilarious. And I feel like I've never seen anybody approach cooking like that. Like, this man was cooking, he cooked scallops on a plane. He brought an induction little like burner, like a 1 burner, onto the plane. This may be very illegal, but he brought this thing on the plane and literally I think he made like bacon wrapped scallops on the plane.
On a commercial flight?
To be honest, I don't want nobody sue me. I don't know if the plane was actually in flight, but they were on a plane and him plug in the little something in the little outlet where you can plug in your phone. Yeah. So I like things like that. Like, I just thought that was so funny. And each episode is like a different character that he was doing, and there was like a wedding episode where like somebody from his team was getting married. And anyways, you all should go watch it. Go watch Just a Dash. But yeah, I love Matty Matheson. I think he is so funny and just so likable, and he can really cook. So yeah, and him belly big, so you know him can cook. Big belly season for sure. Who else? Is there anybody else? Oh my god, I would love to meet Ina Garten. I would love to meet her and Jeffrey. I'd love to just sit in her garden with her and like pour some freshly squeezed lemonade and just like be my best white woman, you know? Yes, for sure. Yeah, those are my top for sure. Okay, how much time we gone?
31 minutes.
Russ, warranty up for real.
Yeah.
All right, next one. How did I move from a math degree to content creating? Why math first and then moving into content? So this is the part where I was like, do I even want to tell this story again? Because I just feel like everybody who meets me asks me this question. And every interview I've ever done, they ask me this question. See, my own team doesn't even know. So here we go. So I went to college. I went to Vassar College. For those who don't know, Vassar is a liberal arts small liberal arts college in Poughkeepsie, New York, upstate. It's like 2 hours north of New York City. And when I say small, I mean the school population was like total 2,400 people. Like very small, close knit. Um, very expensive. But
Freshman class.
you see, crazy. Like or graduating class was like 600 people. Um and I went to college not knowing a damn what I wanted to do. Like I had no idea. It was just very much my mother at the time was very much this is also after I took a gap year, so I did take a year off from school in between high school and college. Would 100% recommend, by the way. I would 100% recommend taking a gap year, live your life. Like, love me, make me live my life was me. During that year, I went out so much. I was working and I was making money. I think that also that year taught me a lot about independence, and it also taught me a lot about like money management because nobody was giving me no money anymore. Okay. I had like 2 jobs and I was like, I need money for buy my party ticket them. So yeah, so after my gap year, I ended up going to Vassar, which was at the top of my list, one of, the schools at the top of my list. And as a liberal arts school, when I tell you that I did not really even know anything about Vassar at the time, other than my motivation was I must leave Jamaica. It wasn't really I want to go to a specific school. I knew from early on that I didn't want to go to an Ivy. So I knew that I didn't want to do the Harvard. I knew I didn't want to do like a Columbia. But I was very much like, I don't care. I just need to leave Jamaica. I didn't want to be in Florida. Sorry, Florida. But I just wanted to leave. And so I got into Vassar. I got a really, really, really robust financial aid package. And yeah, it was kind of like a no-brainer at that point. And yeah, I went there. I don't even think I chose a major when I was applying, and it's a liberal arts school. Me never really know what that mean at the time. But yeah, I was there, and come to find out, there, because it's a liberal arts school and because it's the whole point of learning at a liberal arts school is not to necessarily graduate with a degree that you are now going to go and use. It's more about the holistic, it's a holistic education. The point of it is that you don't there's no tunnel vision on something, because even after you choose a major, you still have to do, I think, like 25% of my courses at the end had to be outside of my major, and then another 25% had to be outside of the department. So I have a math degree, but I had to do humanities. Anyways, so after all of that, I got to the point where I had to like decide on a degree, and I was like, okay, well, what is going to make me seem smart? Yeah, I was like, what degree is going to make me look smart to anybody? And there wasn't a marketing degree. There was no business school there. The only business related degrees were like econ. And I knew I didn't want to do econ. So I was just like, I think if I tell anybody that I have a math degree, they're going to automatically assume that I'm a genius. So I'm just going to get a math degree. And literally, that's why I have a math degree. That's literally why I have a math degree. I think even from then, I knew that I wasn't doing anything in math. I never wanted to go in finance. I never wanted to do anything along that route. I think I kind of had an idea that I wanted to go into marketing, but at that time, I never have a degree in marketing, so I wasn't sure. But anyways, so after all of that, get my degree, I decided to move back to Jamaica because, America was just a little bit too much for me at the time. There was a lot going on, and decided to come back home, decided to start. I got a job. I got a job with Nicole McLaren Campbell, working at AIM. I actually was working with AIM before I graduated college. So I was doing stuff for her and making a little extra money on the side with her. And so when I came to Jamaica, it kind of was I was just moving into a more full-time role with her. And yeah, I think during that time I was like, I'm thinking about copywriting, I'm thinking about marketing, I'm thinking about social media. At this time, I had already started Wonga Gal, but Wonga Gal was not, I wasn't a content creator. I was just someone who had photos of food and wanted to put them on an Instagram account. Like it was very rudimentary. It was very just like, I don't want to put these on my main account, so let me make a new account to put these on. It wasn't, there was no plan, right? And then, yeah, I just started posting things just because I really liked it. And I ended up actually getting a job with like a freelance marketer. Um, and she kind of has her own little agency, and so I was working with her, and I think that's where I got my introduction to a lot of things. She was really really cool. Big up Des. She gave me a lot of resources. I was constantly learning with her. She made it she made it like her mission to send me to like virtual conferences and to give me access to like her library. And yeah, I was just always learning. And so yeah, I think it was from there that I realized that I wanted to go into marketing. But then concurrently, Wanga Gal was just taking off as well. Then COVID happened and we were all just kind of stuck inside. And I just decided that I was just going to be a food blogger. Like I literally just woke up one day and I was like, I'm just gonna take pictures of food. Actually, it wasn't that I was gonna be a food blogger. I wanted to be a food photographer. I didn't have a camera at the time. I literally had like what, my iPhone SE, and I was taking pictures with that by using natural light. I was following a lot of food photographers, and I had a little setup like right by a window in my bedroom, and that's where all of my first photos were taken. And yeah, it kind of has just grown from there. It really was very organic and very unintentional. And so from there, that's how I got into content creation. And then after a while, people started seeing my stuff and they would come to me and be like, oh my God, you're doing so well. Could you manage my social media for me? And that is really how I got into doing content for other people. And then that has kind of just grown into Wonga Media now. So yeah, that's a very long-winded, a very long-winded explanation. But I'd say, yeah, it was just like it's almost like a, I don't know if you believe in the woo-woo, but it really felt like divine alignment in a way. Like things just kind of came together, and you know, I believe in lucky girl syndrome. I do believe I'm a very lucky girl. I believe I'm a very privileged girl. I believe, I believe in the power of manifestation, and I think I'm doing pretty well on that front for my life so far. So yeah, me just, as I say, me just I have a very strong mindset that me can't fail. Because me can't broke. Because if me broke, cat them hungry. Me hungry. And when I say me hungry, like me not talk about chicken back hungry, like I need nice things. I just know that my appetite is for nice things. So I think I just fully believe that. And yeah, that's how we are where we are. Yeah. That's it for me. Okay, quick, rapid fire through these next questions. Okay. What exactly do I do for a living? Well, I kind of just said that. I do Wonga Gal. I am a food blogger. In the process of kind of creating this whole little Wonga world. That's my tab on ChatGPT, Wonga World for all of these things. But yeah, I do Wanga Gal. That's my food blogging persona, my food blogging part of my job and my creative job, my personal brand. But then there's also Wonga Media, which is a boutique digital marketing agency. It's a team of what, like 9 of us, and we do digital marketing for a number of clients. We have worked. Yeah, it's on its way to being 360. And yeah, we've grown so much in the past 3 going on 4 years. We're still a very young company, but we've worked with so many businesses, local and abroad. We've worked in over 14 industries. You know, it's crazy to think. all the things that we've accomplished in such a short time, and I am very proud. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of my team. I'm very proud of my clients. I'm very proud of our growth collectively and individually. And yeah, I think it's really cool. And so yeah, that's what I do. Moving right along. Oh yeah, wearewonga.com. To find out more, go to wearewonga.com. You can also follow We Are WongaMedia on Instagram. And yeah, everything Wonga is kind of housed over there. So yeah, you can go find out more. Oh, someone's asking about my past dance life. So, which I would have mentioned before about my KFC story that my dance teacher was asking me about, telling me that kind of foreshadowed my move into food. But yeah, when I was younger, I had a very, very, very effervescent dance life. It wasn't until I was older that I think I realized that in a way I had a semi-professional dance career starting at the age of like 14. I was going to dancing at least 4 out of the 7 days a week, and I would be in the studio for minimum 3 hours on each of those days. Like it was very serious for me, but I loved it. It was like a true passion of mine. It still is a true passion of mine. But obviously I don't do it as much now. But no, back then, like I was really in it, and I was really committed to it, and I was dancing. I was in a company called Pro Moves. I grew up learning to dance at In Motion, and both of those things don't really exist anymore. But no, it was a very, very, very great foundation for me. It also taught me about money, because I was making money from them time there. Like I performed at least 3 or 4 YVAs, the Youth View Awards. I danced back up at Sumfest for Tifa. I danced back up for TOK. I was in a music video. Do not Google that. But I'm not even gonna tell you for who, but I was in a music video. I was in a music video. I went to LA to compete. I represented Jamaica at the World Championships of Performing Arts. We won like a couple gold medals. We won a gold medal for jazz piece, for open piece. Yeah, literally dance was my life. Like when I said that, like people said dance is in life. Like it was genuinely my life. I was so excited to get up and do it every single day. And a part of the reason why I wanted to go to Vasa as well was because they had a really, really, really good dance program. That wasn't formal at the time. So it's not like I was going to study dance. It was like I could go and be in a company, kind of like what I was doing in Jamaica. So yeah, by the time I was in college, I remember one time we like added it up. And because I was in 2 different dance groups, I was in VRDT, which is like the school company, like the school's official company, and then I was also in another casual group called Fly People. And we sat down and added it up, like the people who were in both Fly People and VRDT, and we were like spending 19 hours a week in the studio. So yeah, it was very serious for me. This is the first time in my life since 2019 that I don't have a rigid dance schedule, and dance is a bit like loosey goosey for me. It happens when it happens, and when it doesn't happen, especially like over COVID, I did not dance at all. And so yeah, but I'm trying to get back into it now for fun, because it still really is something that I'm passionate about. I love watching dance videos. I love learning dancing. I love choreographing. I love everything about it. Yeah, that's just me. That's my dance life in a nutshell. Last question. Yeah, last question. How did I become Wonga Gal?
What a good last question. Wow.
How did I become Wonga Gal? So as I said before, I kind of just had all of these pictures on my phone, and not that it was these random pictures. I actually, during my time at Vasa, I actually spent a semester in Trinidad. I did a study abroad program, and it was my first time. This was in 2018. It was my first time traveling anywhere other than the US. So I had never been anywhere else in the Caribbean before. I had just never been me that on the one way flight from Jamaica to Florida or Jamaica to Atlanta or Jamaica to New York. That alone me did know. Mind you, I'm very aware that's more than a lot of people know, so I'm not minimizing, but yeah. But just saying, it was the first time in my life that I was going anywhere else. I went to Trinidad. In the program that I was in at Trinidad, we also went to Cuba for a week. So that was my first time going to like a Spanish speaking country. And just being there, I was eating all of this like different food. And I think what fascinated me was that unfortunately, I think when you're in the Caribbean and you don't really know anything else, there is like this monolithic idea of what the Caribbean experience is. And so in my mind, I don't know why I would have thought this, obviously ignorance, but I didn't realize that like Trinidad had such different food from us. Like everything about Trinidad food is different. It's saucier, it's way more plant-based, the flavors are different. It has a more like Indian, Southeast Asian just look and feel. And I didn't know that. I didn't expect that. And then of course I go to Cuba, which is like also very different. The food is a little bit fresher. Of course, Cuba, of course, and their whole like political ecosystem, they don't have as many access to like spices and stuff like that. So it was just I was learning a lot and I was capturing it a lot on my phone, my like iPhone. And during that same year as well, I think after that period of being abroad, my friend who is from the US Virgin Islands, big up Cariel, had invited us to come with her for October break, which is like fall break. And yeah, so I spent like a week in St. Croix, and that was also interesting seeing how different their food was too. And yeah, so I was just doing a lot of traveling and amassed all of these pictures, and I was just like, I want to put them somewhere. Again, no intention of being a food blogger, no intention of doing anything. And yeah, I just wanted to put them somewhere. I had a Tumblr at the time, but Tumblr was like dying. And so I was like, let me just start an Instagram. And I remember me and my sister sat on the couch and I was like, I want something that's not like Jamaican foodie or like something 876. Like I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to feel Jamaican without being overly or blatantly Jamaican, if that makes sense. And yeah, I was like, Wonga, what's a play on like Wonga? And I think at the time my Tumblr was like Wonga 876 or something like that. And then I was like, Wonga girl. I think my sister is the one who was like, Wonga girl. And we're like, yeah, Wonga girl. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it started. And it just became that. And then I moved back to Jamaica. And as I said before, I started taking more pictures. I think I paid for like a course to learn food photography. And I kind of just really got into it. And it was just another passion. It just became another passion of mine. And yeah, now I'm the patty girl. So yeah, no, but it's really cool. I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity. I'm very, very grateful for Wonga Gal. Even if I decide to get up and stop Wonga Gal tomorrow, like I think it's such a cool thing that I've been able to do. And I've been able to work with a lot of restaurants locally and even regionally and food brands, and I've been able to meet so many people. I'm friends with so many chefs, which I think is so cool because, as I said, I have such a high respect for them. And like, me in at the party and the chef called me for come around our back for dip before fucking at the pot and them things. Like, I don't know, those things to me are like the height. And I just love that. I love that I've been afforded this life, and yeah, it's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. And I get to, WongaMedia came out of that. And I get to meet people like my team. And I get to meet like Ramon and Jordan. And like all of these people I would have never come in contact with in this way if it weren't for Wonga Gal. So very, 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 very grateful for that. And yeah, I think that's a great way to end. I think that's a great way to end. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, plug the website. Yeah. As I said in another episode, everything Wonga exists on wearewonga.com. That's where you can find the Wonga blog. We also have a food calendar that tells you all of the food events happening in Jamaica that we know about every single month. If you sign up for the newsletter, you actually get that food calendar delivered to your inbox on the first Wednesday of every single month. Big up my little sister Brianna / Breezy, who oversees that entire project. And yeah, if you want to learn more about what we do over at WongaMedia as well, that is also on the website. If you want a little bit more about my story, that's also on the website. So yeah, and then of course follow We Are WongaMedia on Instagram, because our beer foolishness we keep up over there too. And then of course follow Wanga Gyal on TikTok and Instagram. And I used to be on Twitter, but I come off of that because I'm mad over there. And yeah, and follow all of my team members too. They're really, really cool people. And yeah, thank you guys. And so yeah, just thank you guys for being here with me and living in this resurgence of the WongaPod. It took me 5 billion years to come back, but yeah, thank you so much, because without you, Wanga Gyal would not be possible, for real. So yeah, big up science, big up women in STEM, big up stirring the pot, big up everything, big up everybody, big up everywhere. Also one thing that I wanted to talk about, or not like briefly mention, is that I was looking on the stats of people that listen to WongaPod, and first of all, United States has surpassed Jamaica. So big up the diaspora, but also number 4 over the UK is Vietnam. Big up whoever is in Vietnam listening to WongaPod right now. Big up you. I have to learn something Vietnamese though. Yeah, I'm gonna learn it for the next time. But yeah, just thank you guys so much. Thank you to my team.
Tune in next season
For even more Nyamins and Yapins.
If you want to sponsor a WongaPod episode, send an email to this email address right here on the screen.
Absolutely. Bye guys.